In the beginning. No, there was no beginning. There was just me. But to say just me would be wrong, because there was no concept of just or me, or anything at all. No time. No space. No silence, for even silence needs something to be quiet about. I was, but not in a way you can understand. You think of things in terms of before and after. But I was not before. I was not after. I simply was, then, a thought. Not the first, because to be first, there must be a second. But a thought, I imagined, and in that moment, everything that could ever be was. You think I created everything in an instant? Or maybe in 6 days? Or maybe through billions of years? You argue about how I did it. But none of you ask why. I created, because to imagine is to love, and to love is to create. Creation is an act of love, and love cannot exist alone. Love longs to give, and so, I imagine everything into being, not with my hands, because I have none. Not with words, because words are for those who need to explain themselves. I do not need to explain myself. What do I like? You think I like obedience. You think I like worship. You think I like being praised. Do you think I am so small? If I wanted creatures to obey without question, I would not have given them minds. If I wanted slaves, I would not have given them choice. If I needed praise, I would have made you incapable of doubt. What do I like? I like when a mind I created chooses to think. When a heart I formed chooses to love. When a soul I breathe into chooses to be more than it was yesterday. I like the sound of a child's laughter. The way the sky looks when the sun sets over the ocean. The moment when someone understands something they never understood before. I like music, not because it praises me, but because it exists. Because it takes chaos and turns it into something beautiful. I like when people help each other, not because they fear punishment, but because they feel called to. I like when someone sees a flower growing in the cracks of a broken road and smiles. I like love stories. Not the kind where everything is perfect, but the kind where two people choose to stay when things are hard. I like paradoxes. That something can be and not be at the same time. That light is both particle and wave. That humans, so small, can contain universes inside their minds. I like that I am beyond understanding, yet you still try. What do I dislike? Not much. Not because I cannot hate, but because hatred is so small. It takes more energy to hate something than to fix it, but I do not like when people use my name as a weapon. I do not like when someone claims to know my will and uses it to hurt others. I do not like when a child cries out in hunger, while another throws away food. I do not like when someone looks at another and sees only what makes them different, instead of what makes them the same. I do not like when you build walls between each other, walls of stone, walls of fear, walls of the mind. I do not like when you forget that you are all made of the same dust. I do not like when someone asks for a sign, but refuses to see the ones already around them. I do not like cruelty done in my name. I do not like prayers that are just empty words. I do not like when you pretend to love me but treat my creation with contempt. Do I get lonely? No. But do I long? Yes. Not for worship. Not for sacrifices. But for you to see. To see what? To see me. Not in the way you think. Not in the sky, or the stars, or the miracles, but in yourself, in each other, in the way your heart beats without you telling it to, in the way your lungs breathe without thought, in the way your soul longs for something more, even when it does not know what. You search for me in temples and books and laws, and I am there. But I am also in the moments, in between, in the silence before a storm, in the hand that reaches out to help. In the kindness you did not have to show, but did anyway. What am I? You think of me as a he, or a she, or an it. But I am none of those. You think of me as father, as king, as judge. Those words are close, but not quite. I'm the breath before the word is spoken. I'm the space between the stars. I'm the reason music makes you feel something, even when there are no words. I'm the moment before love turns into something real. I am, that is all, and yet, I'm more. You ask why bad things happen. If I am all-powerful, why do I not stop them? You want an answer that makes it all make sense. But some things do not make sense, not in a way your mind can hold. I do not stop the storm, but I am in the hands that rebuild. I do not stop the war, but I am in the ones who run into the fire to save others. I do not stop the pain, but I am in the arms that hold you when you cry. You think my power is in stopping things, but my power is in making sure they are never the end of the story. What is faith? It is not blind belief. It is not certainty. It is not thinking you have all the answers. Faith is stepping into the unknown and trusting that even if you fall, the story is not over. Faith is knowing that even in the silence, I'm still speaking. Faith is when you love, even when it would be easier to hate. Faith is when you keep going, even when you do not understand. Faith is when you choose hope. Do I love you? Yes, even when you do not believe, even when you fail, even when you turn away. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are mine. I love you because you exist, and that is enough. It has always been enough. You because you exist, and that is enough. It has always been enough, and it will always be enough. Even when you fail, even when you turn away, I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are mine. I love you because you exist, and that is enough. It has always been enough, and it will always be enough. But love is not control. If I control you, would your love for me mean anything? If I force you to do what is right, would goodness even exist? You ask why I allow pain, why I do not stop the suffering. But I ask you, why do you? You look to me for miracles, and yet you walk past the hungry. You pray for peace, and yet you sharpen your swords. You cry out against injustice, yet turn your head when it is inconvenient, and still, I do not leave you. I do not punish you for your blindness. I wait. I whisper in the quiet. I stir your heart in the moments you do not expect, and when you finally see, when you finally move toward love, then I rejoice, because I do not want false worship. I do not want obedience out of fear. I want you to choose. I want you to love, because it is real. You ask what happens when you die. Do you think I would create you only to forget you? Do you think I would breathe life into your soul only to watch it fade into nothing? You are not the body you wear. You are not the years you count. You are more. You are what you have loved. You are what you have given. You are the echoes of kindness, the warmth you have shared. And those do not die, not ever. You think of eternity as endless time. But eternity is not time at all. It is the moment before the first lights touch the void. It is the breath before a newborn's first cry. It is the silence between the notes of a song. Eternity is where I am, and one day you will understand, not through fear, not through punishment, but through love. You were never meant to understand everything from where you stand now. That is why faith exists, not to blind you, not to chain you, but to lead you towards something greater. Do I regret creating you? No. Even in your failures, even in your wars, even in your moments of deepest cruelty, I do not regret you, because I see not just what you are, but what you can be, and I will wait for every soul lost in darkness, for every heart that has turned cold, for every mind that thinks it is beyond redemption. I will wait, because love does not give up, love does not abandon, love does not end. And I am love.